Hello. Hello friends, welcome back to another video. Today we will be going over male sex energy is stored in its seed. So on this channel we know very well that the Vidya is the most potent and most powerful source of all sources. It is a thought form, it is a life form, it is a cosmopolitan creation amalgamated all through the cosmos. So without further ado, we're going to explain its importance as well as some Taoist thought to it as well. So without further ado, let us begin. There is no medicine or food and no spiritual salvation that can prolong a man's life if he fails to understand or practice the harmony of sexual energy. Sang Tzu, a physician to the emperor of the Taoist emperors. So, no matter what you do in this life, no matter what you try to recuperate with, workouts, foods, steroids, hormones, there's nothing that can get back that lost life force. Once gone, it is gone. And now this physician to the emperor wants this to be known because the sexual energy is what your body is channeling the most. When it's lost, right? Your body daily is building up enzymes, building up proteins, building up child's fats, bone marrow to give you your best towards the sexual energy or the qing, right? So we'll explain this a little more further, especially on this channel. We have plenty of videos where we go over the in-depths of can workouts help regain lost energies, etc. So feel free to check out all those extra videos. But in the sake of time, the yin yang essence is essentially what this is, the duality of splitness. For more than 8,000 years of Chinese history, the sexual kung fu method of retaining the seminal fluid during the act of love remained a deep secret. At first, it was practiced exclusively by the emperor and his innermost circle, who learned it from the Taoist sages that advised the court. So these kings, they understood that keeping the seminal energy is what led them to kinghood in the first place. Regardless if they were having sex or not, they were holding their seed. They were not releasing their seed. They learned that there was a better way to ejaculate, and that's to the brain or opening the third eye channel. This is what the Taoist sages wanted to keep a secret. And even now, right, they tell you to release your energy so often. They don't teach you that this energy can be restored and put back into the brain, or as a third eye orgasm. These wise men claimed in earlier times it was a natural gift of all mankind. So in essence, all men have this prowess, all men have these passions, but the one who can make use out of it and can see through the illusion or the illusory world will make the most out of it. The emperor needed the method to prevent impotence and illness. Improperly educated monarchs were exhausted at an early age by the sexual demands of their wives and concubines. In aristocratic families, it passed from father to chosen son alone, excluding wives, daughters, and other family members. So the men who had many wives and concubines, now it may seem like, wow, they must be in such a powerful position to have so many wives, so many concubines, but at the cost of their own life force. It was draining and destroying them in the process. And these kings who were practicing semen retention or sexual kung fu were some of the most smartest, strongest, most prominent because they were retaining this electromagnetic force within them. And as we can see that this was such a kept secret that only son to son, father to son was the only ones finding out about this process. They were not letting the people know about the electromagnetic powers that come with it. They were just really strict on letting no one know about this. And for the people that were indulgent in the sexual act or indulgent on losing the energy, they were to pay the cost and they didn't learn the difference. We see it even today's world. The sexual process, the ideology is so spammed into culture. It's so It's such an exclamation point to almost everything that's going on. Every movie you see, every ad you see, every short you see, everything seems as it's sexualized to some nature. This is because they want you to lose this energy. This vital energy is so vital. It's so precious. It is God's milk within all of us men. Sexual kung fu is an internal practice that permits men to retain certain bodily secretions, which are the source of incomparable energy when stored and recirculated to higher vital centers like the heart, the lungs, the throat, and the brain. One prevents loss of this biochemical energy by not ejaculating. Stopping ejaculation is not to be confused with stopping orgasm. That is not to be confused. It's this understanding that this Shakti energy, the Kundalini force, the serpent's energy is going to rise upwards, up the coccygeal to the brain, and giving you this third eye orgasm, which is greater than losing your energy. And it will also build for stronger relationship building between you and your partner. It leads to it yields a greater result between you and your partner. It teaches you how to love. It increases you how to use your time into mainly foreplay and understanding how vital this energy is, instead of trying to get as fast as you can to just lose that energy, right? That's what it seems like most of the times nowadays. It's a rush to get rid of the energy. Just get it over with and get it done. But the sexual kung fu is an art. The sexual kung fu is an art that is perceiving or showing us that it is a slow process. You have to maintain your energy. It's an electromagnetic and positive current, a negative and positive current coinciding together. The male and female yin and yang essences colliding together to make the harmony, to go back to the source, or to feel kether. This is the kung fu method, the sexual kung fu method, where you will rise to allow this ejaculation to happen in the brain rather than losing it in the external plane. By practicing control of certain muscles, Kegels for instance, tendons and fascia of the lower trunk, and by allowing the genital pressure to spread over the entire body, the seminal fluid is withheld. So guys, feel free to check out our other videos on bandhas or bundas, where we explain how the squeezing of the perineum and allowing the breath to go upwards, allowing the semen to go upwards, is how you allow this to happen. Right? The squeezing of the perineum and allowing this force to drive upwards. You don't want to lose the seminal fluid, because once lost forever. All of that electromagnetic power is gone because it was working to bring out a new life force. But if this life force is withheld, it goes up to the brain and it is spread over the entire body. Like we mentioned, the semen retention will give you an aura of it. At the same time, one thrills to pleasures of infinite variety. Indeed, the joys of this kind of love must be considered quite different from ordinary physical pleasure. The intensity is so great that it often leads to a spiritual awakening. So if you learn to have sex without ejaculating with your partner, you will learn more depths of love, because it's not a loss of energy. Each time you are going to grow and grow and grow with energy. You increase in energy when you do not lose your most valuable source. If you are able to do that with your partner, you are able to collide two parts of energies, the yin and yang essence. A man who masters this method will find his sexuality so enhanced that he will feel a revolution has occurred in his life. It will no longer be you losing this energy and you feeling so drained and depleted and absolutely disgusted at the end of it. This would help magnetize yourself, magnetize your relationship, increase your love habits, and not only appreciate your lover, but also appreciate yourself and how charismatic and how godly this energy truly is. This electromagnetic energy truly is. The pair of lovers becomes a dynamo, generating great quantities of electromagnetic energy. When both currents are used, right? And one current is the negative energy, what we would call the female energy. This energy can never get depleted. The only time it's ever depleted is finally when menopause kicks and the estrogen stops making, eggs are done, etc. Then this energy is starting to deplete itself. For the men, every time the ejaculation occurs and the reoccurrence of ejaculation occurs, this is how this energy starts to deplete itself as well. But when these two are combined and at their maximum, we see that it causes a great quantity of electromagnetic energy, because it is the same force that brings out the eternal source, or the self. The self is what split itself into two separate entities, two separate planes, the left and right, the male, the female, the day and the night, the two hemispheres of the brain split down. This is what we know as, so during this such pure and sexual act, it has to be seen as such a pure and such a spiritual act, because it's essentially bringing you back to the source of all creation, or Kether. With this method, one can make love more often than before. Obviously, if you're not losing your vital energy as much, you will be able to have great endurance, great strength, and great discipline, with tremendous benefits to one's health. We also mentioned with the loss of semen, the more likely you are prone to disease, prone to things not working, prone to addictions, prone to so many different downfalls when you lose this energy. As opposed to withholding this energy and not giving it away, your health will increase. It is like a fountain of youth. Sexual kung fu stimulates production of precious hormonal secretions instead of depleting them, as is ordinarily the case with ejaculation. So during sexual kung fu, if you are with your partner having sex and you withhold this semen, you will gain much energy. It will be a great energy sharing process. Every vital function is invigorated because one no longer discharges life energy through the genitals. Real sexual fulfillment lies not in the feeling of life going out of you, but increasing awareness of the vital current that flows through the loins. Now, this is a very important statement that many have to understand. Many think that releasing this semen or releasing this life force, now they feel good, because they haven't felt an orgasm greater. But once they understand the orgasm of this vital life force going through their loins, going through their tendons, going through their entire body, almost to the point where you could feel the atmospheric aura around you, then they will understand how amazing this life force is to flow through you. Until then, they will be super addicted to the passions from the worldly. This is why we say that the externalized world wreaks havoc because of the senses. But if they are to see the world within, they will understand how vital this life force is and how amazing this orgasm could be through the Kundalini. The body is further replenished by the method of steaming. The vital energy up from the sexual centers to the brain and higher organs such as the heart and the crown of the head. The life-enhancing energy process is completed by exchanging energy with one's lover during a relaxed meditation, following the creation of this supercharged sexual energy. So this is important for lovers in relationships to not only meditate together, but to also understand the vital forces that both are holding. Both are holding a piece of God itself. The man and the woman are holding a piece of God itself. But when this piece comes together is what God is. God is now finally full again, because it's now back to itself. It's no longer split. It is now unionized and now back to harmony. So during a relaxed meditation following the supercharged energy that was built up, you will feel very at one with your partner, because it's no longer lust and what we see in the physical world. It's now you returning to the self, returning to Kether, returning to the ultimate Atman of Atmans. the creation or the creator. This powerful release and sharing of life's vital force is the fundamental bond in human love. To awaken this dynamic energy is also to experience the force behind man's biological and spiritual evolution, also known as the rising Kundalini. So, this is the process that we know that stems through all life, the phallic creation that created all of life. This giving rising motion like the sun, it's giving life to everything. But at the same time, it's to preserve. To preserve this vital life force is the most important. So, guys, we will be going much more in depth as far as the male sexual energy, sexual kung fu, as well as the brahmacharya process, as well as the Kundalini process that's going to occur while you're on this journey. Whether you're single, whether you're in a relationship, you can still practice sexual kung fu or brahmacharya regardless. It is up to you to retain this seed and know when you are overwhelmed. Only you know when you're hot enough and feel overwhelmed enough. You need to know how to control yourself. For it is not the external world you have to control, it's the internal world you have to control. If you are overpowered by the external world, you will be diminished. You will be destroyed by the external world. But if your internal is strong enough, there's nothing in this cosmos that can stop you. With that being said, guys, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for the likes, the comments, etc. This has been Male Sex Energy is Stored in Its Seed. So thank you guys again, and I will be back to continue this series as well as bring other videos like this as well. So thank you once again.